Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight I would like to talk about a little bit of a tradition called Imbolc. It's spelled I-M-B-O-L-C, and it can either say Imbolc or Imbolg, depends on where you're at. But these ancient Sabbats, little refresher here, are ancient fire festivals. Some were more focused on bonfires, others were more focused on the returning of light, so they would use a lot of candles and such like that. Light from a flame was very, very important at these Sabbat times, and you can debate in the comments down below as to the length of the history of these, but you can actually track a lot of these Sabbats under different names back many, many years. So, this particular Sabbat is usually celebrated on the 2nd of February. Others say it can be the 1st or the 2nd. Some say it's both days. Do what feels right for you. I'm a traditionalist, so generally the 2nd is when you would celebrate it. So, it is said to be the halfway point, between the winter solstice and the vernal or spring equinox, which would be Ostara. If you're going by actual days, you can figure that out. It generally falls between the 1st and the 4th because Ostara floats around a little bit. Not massively, depends on if it's a leap year, things like that. So, another name for this particular holiday is the Feast of St Brigid, or the celebration of the goddess Brigid. The goddess was basically demoted, of course it was, down to a saint, but Brigid originally was a triple goddess with the faces of healing, poetry, and, this is a unique one, especially for a goddess in my opinion, smithcraft. Not saying anything negative, just when you think of goddesses with healing and poetry, metalworking doesn't usually pop in there, but she is very, very keen with this particular aspect as well. In the deeper depths of history, if you want to dig far enough, the gods and goddesses are still around. I've said this before in multiple videos, so this is not a new thing from my perspective. They just have different names. Instead of being a goddess or a god, they're now saint such and such, or a patron such and such, which happens. What was old has always been reborn, nothing new under the sun concept, but going along with that theory, other goddesses from other areas that you can use for Imbolc are goddesses like Vesta, Freya, even Sekhmet, or any goddess of the full moon. And there's also a branch of tradition that says you can use any solar or fire goddess. So it's very much focused on the feminine with this holiday, and very much about bringing in the light. So this, in the traditional sense, is a cross-quarter day. Therefore, it is a Sabbat between an equinox and a solstice. The others are Beltane, Lughnasadh, Samhain, and of course, Imbolc. Imbolc is a time of being fecund, which is the pregnancies of Beltane, because if you go by the calendar, 40 weeks is about around this time. They're almost ripe for birth, or they're starting to birth out. It can also be the first sign of spring. It's not spring yet. Don't come for me. We just in Idaho this particular weekend, we're forecasted over a foot of snow. We already have several inches, and it's still coming down. So it's not saying spring is here yet, but you can notice the days are getting longer. That your urge to go outside is a little bit more. Days generally aren't as cold. Nights still are brutal, but days aren't as cold. So things are starting to shift. That's the important part of this. The 2nd of February in more modern times is usually seen as Groundhog's Day. Again, portends the coming of spring, returning of the light, the promise of summer to come. The old, again, is new. There's nothing new there. The early Catholic Church, though, wanted to kind of loosen the hold of the ancient beliefs on the people. So they created a holiday that sits right on top of this one, and it's called Candlemas. It's basically, they use lots of candles, evergreen crowns, really good food, usually with some sweets mixed in, as a way to be like, see, we celebrate it too. But again, this is a much older celebration than what they were using. The theme of Imbolc is of health and healing. Because you got to remember, this time of the year, depending on where you were in the world, this could be a rough time. Food supplies could be iffy. Do you have food? Do you need to go hunting? You can't gather anything? There's nothing to gather. You're usually trapped inside. Not always a good thing because, breathing issues and such. So this holiday was really about making sure everyone was healthy and doing well. But because you're also, in the way I look at winters, you get trapped inside a lot. I'm not a big skier or snowboarder, so when you're inside a lot, especially when it's cold, what are you doing? You're finding creative ways to do things, and that's the theme of Imbolc, is creativity, skilled crafts of some form, sewing, knitting, crocheting, carving, including metalwork. It can be mixed into that. It's something to keep you going. It's also a time to pass on tradition to the next generation. There's also this is also a good time, depending on what seeds you're planting, to actually start some of your longer seasoned seedlings, because you'll end up transplanting them outdoors eventually. For my area, stuff that you would start indoors would be tomatoes, pumpkins, peppers of various sorts, the stuff that needs 95 days or more to harvest. And I'm being a little weird here, but this is a little nerdy, I should say. But this is a thing. So stuff like that needs the really long seasons, you would start them in the first part of February to be transplanted out later. So check your zones on your seeds and see if you have to start planting, because we didn't have like, when you think about it, back in the day there weren't just nurseries. We could just drive down to the closest nursery and go pick up some burpee plants. You had to start them yourself from seeds that you saved yourself to actually be able to produce, and there is some there's some information out there that says that people have been starting plants indoors like this for a while. Again, you can take whichever you want to believe, but that's something you can do today to help with that. So it's also a good indicator of spring cleaning. When the light comes back, it's time to open the doors, flush out the stagnant air. Good time to, physically clean the house, start your spring cleaning. You don't have to do it all, but this is a good time to kind of get things started. And you can also do things like smudging your house, getting all that negative energy, that stagnant air, that stagnant overall energy, cleaning it out of the house. Smudge if you can't have smoke, like if you live in an apartment building or something. Even the sprays you can get that are a smudge or a spray. Heritage Store has some really good products like that, and you can just use that, spraying in a clockwise path around your house, chasing everything out the front door. That way you can freshen the house up a little bit. And if you like to do altars, which some of us really enjoy them because they're fun to change out each season, you can use things like grain dollies. You can set up a ring of candles. It doesn't have to be big candles. It can be little, like 2-inch candles like this, or it can be, giant pillar candles if you have the space for it. If not, you can literally get birthday candles and set them in something that's stable and stand them up so there's a circle of them, because you're creating a circle of light to invite the year to come in and to continue warming up. You're calling the sun. You can use colors like golds and silvers, again, solar, lunar, at fullness colors, greens, even some winter flowers like crocuses, poinsettias are another good one, so reds. We're working with the energy of soothing and uplifting, so any incense that you personally find soothing, uplifting, spiritually awakening, these are things that you can do and work on for yourself. It doesn't have to be a specific one like, I must use this product at this time of the year. This time of the year, especially Imbolc, is what is going to help you feel better and what is going to help lighten your space. So everyone's going to have a different fragrance there. If you choose to work with offerings and things like that, you can use the milk or cream, depending on which you wish, with honey for the fairies. This is another big theme with this holiday, is fairy work. And you put it on your altar, you do your rituals. By the end of the ritual, you pour it outside as an offering to the goddess and to the fairies. Even if it's cold, find a tree, you can pour it along the base or something so it's outside. One thing, and I figured this year we're going to do something a little different. I haven't done arts and crafts on stream before, so we'll try that. is to make a Brigid's cross as a way to celebrate the goddess Brigid and also to invite her blessing into your environment. So, the recommendation in most of the things is to use reeds or really high quality straw. You can use pipe cleaners, strips of paper to make these. I'm going to use pipe cleaner. uh, and it's a fun, kind of interesting way to bring in a little bit more ritual into your home, but it's also something you can do with the kids just to kind of give them each their own way to, you know, commit to their spirituality. I'm not someone who's going to push spirituality on children. That's not something I'm okay with. But teaching them, giving them options, showing them what's out there is huge. That way they can grow up and see the differences and make their own choices, type of a thing. This one is actually good for the whole family. So mom, dad, spouses, however that works, the kids, everyone gets to make their own Brigid's cross. So we're going to go a little history here and then we'll start on to this. Or not history, but purposes. So this is a craft to bring in the blessing of the goddess Brigid. It includes health, healing, joy, peace, and I love this one. It has to bring in good luck. It's not like I'll make this and maybe. No, this is something that's supposed to help bring in good luck. It's like a horseshoe, and you have them hanging correctly, it brings in good luck. So does a Brigid's cross. This goddess is a very kind and loving goddess, and she wants to interact with us as humans. We're some of her favorite creatures. So the title Saint was a way to keep her in tradition without giving her a title above the Catholic view of what God is, which is fine. Just that's what it was. So you can use St Brigid or you can use the goddess Brigid. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And while we're doing this, and I have pipe cleaners in various colors because it's what I have. I don't just ever buy one color because I never need just one. It's usually 5 or 6. So whichever colors you want, you can use, or you can, again, do what I'm doing is make it as eclectic as possible for fun. As you're making it and as you're folding and as you're tying this, you're focusing on things that are new beginnings. These are things that are positive. You're looking to bring in more light, more sun into your life, and you're working to weave health into your existence. The other thing you can work on with this is prosperity, and this is something important. With this particular tool, you can also, as you're weaving it, bring in more spiritual connection. You're asking for a blessing in the spiritual world. So this is something that is super, super cool and, in my opinion, pretty important when it comes down to brass tacks in life. So there will be links in the description so you can check this out on your own. And the one from on YouTube is actually a really cool guy. He is a little, I think, Scottish or Irish. He's got a really cool way of speaking, but he uses just the reeds, and so that's his view. But you'll start with base one by itself. You take your second one, mine's black, I hope that shows up good, and you bend it in half, about halfway, and then you'll take that half one and you'll fold it around the halfway of the first one. And with the chenille, you can actually pinch it and it'll stay pretty nice. When you watch the video of him doing the reeds, you have to hold this thing super tight each time because every time you move it, the reeds want to shift. So we're just going to do chenille because there's wire in there so it stays better. So you'll take it from wherever you're at. So you've got your noon, your 6. For me, this is 3, and then there'll be 9. So you'll take your clock and you'll turn it, and then you'll add your next one. You can fold it beforehand. Fold it in half. Then you'll take the second one and you'll fold it on the outside of the current one so it's connects. I know this is black. I should not have chosen black to start with. Live and learn. Then you turn it again. And I'm doing things in sets of colors, so this could be interesting. We're going to use pink next. Fold it in half again. And then that one will slide on the outside of that one. And pinch it a little tighter so it sticks better. Then you turn it one more time, and this is what you do, is you just keep building these in half each color, and you turn, and it makes a really cool design. When you look at some of the videos, the reeds that when he does his, it looks really cool. I have no access to such things at the moment, so we get to use chenille strands. But the other part is if you're using the chenille, you can actually start to theme it for prosperity. You can use greens and yellows. If you're looking for love, you can do reds and pinks. If you're looking for overall health, greens, golds, silvers, things like that. So it's actually a good way to start to build on the theme, but also help increase your focus on what it is you're building. So if you can see that, you're starting to build a little pattern here in the center, and it'll get better once you once I get a little further in here, and then once we'll finish this one on screen on the video, and then we'll move on to the next part, which is going to be a little guided meditation to help us tap into, because I feel like you can talk about the Sabbats all you want, but until you actually have a personal experience with them, which in my opinion is easiest done through like a live drama, which is more of a guided meditation. When you have that kind of an experience, it helps anchor the concepts and beliefs deeper into your awareness. It also gives you an emotional connection to it. There is a fairly large theme in a lot of cultures where you use spirituality as a way to connect through acting, through different plays, and through that kind of work. When you do it that way, you start to personalize it. It's not just hearing a story. Stories are great, but when you can put emotion behind it, when you can tie a concept to a feeling, it makes it easier for you to be able to recall that. When you feel that emotion or that feeling again, you can remember, oh yeah, that's the way this can work out. So if it's a little traumatic experience, which does happen, you can connect to a more positive state, because yeah, there's this dark part, it's really not happy, but there's always this light at the end of the tunnel. There's always something that can improve from that. So when you look at it from that perspective, you really start to personalize those feelings, those thoughts, and those emotions, and that changes how your response is to them. Not always, but a lot of the times you can at least see, oh, this isn't going to be as negative as I thought it was, because, you know, in lore, there was something that happened similar to someone else, and it changed, it got better, something altered. So you don't have, that's one way that the rituals help us deepen our spiritual connection. This is really wonky looking, but it also helps teach us lessons of how we can improve our own lives, and also how we can overcome things, because we can look to things that have happened in the past. We can look to the spiritual dramas that have occurred with God's source and some of the ancient deities, and that changes so much of how we respond in life. So this one's about finished because I'm out of strands. What we'll do is, according to this one guy in the YouTube videos, we take this outer one here and we push it up, so it loosens this one up just a little bit, and then you'll wrap your last one around the outside, and you'll tuck it in through the hole there, and you'll do the same on the other side. You'll tuck it in through the hole, so that way when you pull it tight, it actually locks this down. And then, see if I can get my fingers out of the way, you'll push this back down or pull it back down, and then that one locks everything together. So they're all connected, and they're not going to fall apart that way. Now, traditionally, you would take a reed or whatever you built this out of, and tie each of the bundles however you feel you want. As I said, I don't have a lot of these strands at the moment, so I do have lots of yarn because I craft like crazy. And so you would just take a little strip of yarn or string or reed, whatever you have, and you'll bundle up one end, Oops, did I get enough? Okay. And you'll just take and tie that off. I'm going to tie it off of the screen here. But as you're tying it, think of what it is you're wanting to bind. I'm binding peace and prosperity in mine. And should have cut these ahead of time, sorry. But it's a good way to just bring in some positive visualization as you're doing it, because you're tying these ends together so you can, like I said, you can bind thoughts to them. Like you're binding prosperity to yourself. You're binding peace. You're binding health to yourself. A lot of times you'll hear of bindings as negative, but you can also do things like tying a knot or binding something for a positive reason as well, because almost everything in metaphysics can be used for good or bad. It just depends on what your intentions are. So if your intentions are clear and clean, you can use it, something like a binding, as a positive to bind and draw in positive energy, peace, prosperity, abundance, health, love, all of those fun things. So, this is a little rambly, I'm sorry, but what happens when you craft on screen? Come on. But it's, like I said, it's a fun little craft, and it's something pretty simple to do. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it. Kids especially can do this without any struggle, really, especially if you're using like the pipe cleaners, the chenille strands, things like that. They're super easy for the kids to use. You're not going to break them very easily. So, and then trim off all of your extra long tails. So your completed is something along this lines. I know the color's not great on this, but it's the concept that's important. And some people will take and trim all of the ends so that they're all perfectly even. You can do that if you want, or you can flare them and make them into something pretty. However, let your creativity kind of go wild with these, because there's not a right or a wrong way as long as you're weaving the intention of positivity into them. And once they're completed, these are used as good luck charms, obviously. So you can, in a household, however your household works, you can take the head of the household and theirs go above the front door inside. However, whoever that is, head of the household goes in the front door. The spouse goes over the bedroom door, because the head of the household goes outside and deals with the monsters outside, and the head of the household is the one that they come home to, and the reason that they're doing what they're doing. So you can like curl them up like that. Looks a little goofy, but there's a lot of ways you can make them, so let your creativity go wild. And the spouses goes over the bedroom door, and if you have kids and they make their own, they can put them above each of their own doors as well. It is a way to increase positivity through the house. It's a way to invite good luck. It's also a really good thing if you're looking to inspire health and positivity, because you can look above the door and see that is what we're doing. Negativity stays out. We're inviting the blessings of the goddess into the home to support us and to help us grow stronger and be better. So, as we talk about in multiples of how I look at the Sabbats, this is a time when the mother goddess is nursing her growing baby. This is the solar lord that she birthed at Yule, bringing light back to the planet and bringing joy and survival back to the people. This is a time where light is getting stronger and the days are longer. The young infant lord is growing by the day. As he grows, the days get longer, so you know for sure that winter's cold grip and the threat of death has lost. Life is returning and will soon be green on the planet again. It is a festival of lights, and candles are huge for that. It is a time for the survival of the tribe, the survival of the family, and the survival of your country, nation, however you see that. Candles are the way to celebrate that the worst is over, that hope is returning. A single candle in the dark can show light to the world. It is a sign, or it's tied to the zodiac, trying to learn more about this stuff, of Aquarius, and that is an air sign. And air in general loves to communicate. Aquarius is huge in this department. And with that, it's a time to bring in light and open your intuition as well. It is a great time for using divination. Most of the Sabbats are really good for divination going forward. And it's also, this particular one is really important if you're looking to expand your clairs or deepen your spiritual intuition. There is some of the energy around this time is called the psychic light, or the psychic waves are really intense here. So it's definitely a time for spiritual awakening. If you've been feeling, like some of us have, especially in 2025 so far, a little stuck, that something is coming that you're not sure what it is, but you just know that you're on the cusp of something big. This time of the year, this Imbolc season, is a time when a lot of those things can come to fruition. If you work longer rituals, this is a time to bring them to a close, because the energy is about expansion and awakening. So if you have your ritual coming to an end here, it's basically getting it a huge kick to speed it along and hurry up the process. So it's really important, and that's where, with like your Brigid's cross, can be a spiritual tool as well, because you're using it to invite more spiritual connection, to wake up other aspects of yourself. And by doing that, you deepen your ability to see, understand, and know you are special, you are spiritual, and you are here for a purpose, whether you realize it or not. So, with that, we are going to step into our meditation space. If you are not into meditation, you can hop out now, that's fine. If you want to continue on, we're going to go through a simple guided meditation. I use selenite as a way to start off, to clear any space of anything that's not as good as it could be. And then we will use candle flame, and I will just hold the candle flame up. You can focus on that, or you can close your eyes, however you feel comfortable with. But the candle is the important part. The flame is what is so valuable in this Sabbat. So that is why we will use just a simple candle. This particular candle has lapis lazuli in it. It's the one I just showed you. And it is, lapis lazuli is also a stone of enlightenment and spiritual awakening, so I figured this was appropriate for this particular Sabbat. So, if you're ready, allow yourself to settle in, get comfortable, place your feet flat on the floor, or sit in a lotus style or half lotus position. And again, you can have your eyes open or you can close them, it's up to you. And we're going to take a deep breath in, breathing in through your nose, filling your abdomen and your belly. Beautiful white healing light. And exhale, releasing the stress and tension of the day. Take another deep breath in, filling your belly with beautiful silver light, filling that energy flow out through your body, banishing all darkness. Exhale, release the muscles in your neck and back. Allow yourself to float quietly. Take one more deep breath in, filling your belly with beautiful golden light, feeling that gold flow through your veins, through every cell, every atom. Exhale, allow yourself to drift. You're drifting in a sea of black, silent stillness. In that dark void, you see the flame of a candle. This candle fills your vision. All you know is the candle. All of your awareness is on the candle. As you gaze upon this candle, Hold the image in your mind. Feel your awareness shift. Feel yourself grow closer to the candle. This candle starts to light up your body, your mind, and your soul. As it lights up outside, the light flows into every pore on your body, chasing away the shadows within, the shadow self, any negative energy that might still be hanging out. This candle is the spark of life. It is the flame of hope. It is the passion of love itself. As this candle fills you in that darkness around, it fades. The light of the candle is all that you see. It's all that you know. As the candle flows in and around you, you become the flame itself. Floating in the candle, you feel Brigid's peaceful face coming into view. She's holding the candle. She's holding your flame. And that darkness, your shadow, is fading away. You grow brighter and brighter with the blessing of the goddess's countenance. The gentle goddess adds her love and her light, her glowing, peaceful face mixing with yours within the flame. She directs your attention away from her face, and you see things sparkling in the dark. These are the diamonds within your shadow. These are the gifts, the talents, the knowledge, the things that you thought were negative but are actually blessings in disguise. Things you were told those were not good and to hide. These are the things you may not feel comfortable about, but the reality is, they're an aspect of who you are. They are the blessings from the divine that you may have had to set aside for a time. Brigid speaks to you. Her message is for you alone. She speaks of love, of growth, of creativity. How one sparkle shines brighter than all the rest, and each light is a gift. If there is a specific gem that stands out, allow it to float closer to you. This gift that is coming closer, this talent, this aspect of your shadow that you have buried, is coming to you because now is the time to understand it is not the dark. It is a gift, a skill, or a talent. As this gem flows closer and closer to you, you see how sparkly and shiny this gem is. What color is this gem? How big is this gem? Is it been faceted and refined, or is it raw? As you observe this gem with the goddess Brigid, what is the first thing that comes to mind? What talent or skill or aspect of self is coming forward? Brigid guides the gem closer to you as the candle flame. Up close, you see the reason that it was hidden. Was it a family telling you not to see those things? Was it a theology that said those are bad? Ask yourself, ask the goddess, Ask the gem itself, why are you in the dark? Once the answer comes through, you start to see that talent, that gift, that knowledge reveal itself in the most positive, glorious form. It glows in the light from Brigid's face. It reflects the flame of who you are and what you have become. The goddess holds the gem above you, the flame. Your heat, your light, begins to melt the gem. The gem drips and melts back into you. Liquid fire merging within fire. Your flame grows brighter as you feel the gift out of your shadow coming back into your awareness. It may be a subconscious gift, something that may never reveal itself in the waking world. It may be one of your clairs, your intuitive aspects deepening or growing. Allow the energy to fill and float within, merging with you, awakening within you. This is the blessing of the goddess Brigid. This gift of awareness will make itself known in the best ways possible. It may be subtle, it may be bold, but it will be in the path that you feel or need is best. You feel this candle flame float into your physical form. The flame that is who you are settles deep into the very chest of your body. You bring your gift from the shadow back into this now moment. The goddess Brigid gently kisses your forehead, directly over your third eye. You feel relaxed, healthy, a very positive and powerful glow flowing within. The goddess fades. She never leaves, just becomes less visible, allowing you to bring your awareness back to this now moment. From that floating light that fills you, breathe in through your nose, breathing in gentle blue light. Breathing out through your mouth, feeling that glow filling your physical form, bringing a smile to your face. Take another deep breath in, breathing in beautiful golden white light. Exhale. Feel your awareness back in your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your shoulders ever so gently. Breathing in again, deep into your abdomen. When you're full of air, hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release, blowing out through your mouth. Allowing yourself to come back fully into your moment, into this now time. Allow yourself grace and gentleness as you wake up, opening your eyes, remembering the beautiful face of the goddess, the gentle kiss of the flame that you now carry within, and the gifts of your shadow's blessings. Have a blessed and safe Sabbat of Imbolc, and I will see you in a future video.